I've adopted this identity that I'm a pretty girl, but I'm not, excuse my French, I'm not a bad bitch. The difference, in my opinion, between a pretty girl and a bad bitch is the amount of confidence that said woman exudes. What's going on, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. If you are new here, my name is Bree, also known as Miss Wright. I am your Genzennial bestie, your virtual sis, working to successfully navigate her 20s in an attempt to thrive in her 30s. If this sounds like something that you are interested in, please do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe. I promise you're going to love it here. And for those who are returning, mwah! Y'all already know the vibes. In today's video, we will be talking about a huge elephant in everybody's room, everybody's bedroom, hidden under everybody's bed, hidden under everybody's pillow, and that is insecurities. But more literally, we are talking about how to overcome said insecurities and how to truthfully and transparently build confidence. I get raw and I get very real in this video, so I pray for you guys' patience as well as niceness. Please be nice to me, you guys, because I bare my heart and soul in this video, but I believe that it's going to touch the people that genuinely need it the most in a way that will implore them to want to become their most confident self. So if confidence is something that you struggle with, and who doesn't, please continue to watch this video because I promise it's going to do something for you. And yeah, with that being said, enjoy. Hey y'all, please disregard my appearance. I promise I am about to eat down. But right now the girl is getting ready and I had to pour a glass of wine for this video because we're about to get into it. It's gonna be pretty deep. We have some unpacking to do and we're going to do so in today's video. I don't even think y'all are ready because quite frankly, I'm ready, but like I feel like it didn't click until I hit record. Let's get into it. So actually today is Valentine's Day. By the time you see this video it will have passed, but I just want all of you to know happy Valentine's Day. I love you all. Mwah! So it's actually ironic that we're talking about it today, but I don't care what day it is, I want to get into it, and it's something that's been weighing on me and something also that I feel like I've had a recent like epiphany about. But while we are chit-chatting, I'm going to be getting ready because my man got plans for me. I don't even know where we're going or what we're doing. All I know is I need to be cute. I need to be out this house in about an hour. So let's get into it. In today's video, what we are going to be talking about is building confidence. Building confidence 101. I actually felt like it was ironically appropriate to talk about it today because the reason it's been weighing on my chest is because the epiphany that I had was that my confidence or my sense of self-worth and my insecurities in opposition to that aren't solely tied to a man. I thought that they were. Previous version of myself thought that, you know, I'm insecure because men used to play in my face all the time. Men used to take advantage of me and I allowed it to happen, and I must have not had a certain level of confidence if I allowed X, Y, and Z to happen over and over and over amongst several different people. Clearly I wasn't as confident in myself and there were insecurities in my previous relationship, so I just associated my lack of confidence with men. And now I'm in a relationship and I'm confident in the relationship, but I've realized I still have insecurities that I'm working through, and I can't be the only one who has these feelings. My heart is actually pounding out of my chest for the first time while I'm filming, so please bear with me if I have to just pause, collect myself, and take deep breaths throughout this video because this is something that is rather deep for me that I'm unpacking, and I'm hoping that it will reach the people that it needs to. Anybody that has been dealing with a lack of confidence, I feel like to be your Genzennial bestie as I claim to be, I relate to anybody within this age bracket where when you're constantly going through transformative times between that age range of 18 to early 30s, you're going through so much change and there's a lot of different moving parts in your life no matter where you are in that age bracket. And that increases the likelihood of you losing your confidence along that way, somehow, some way, shape, or form. If you don't deal with this that often, I wish I were you. But to be honest, like, especially being a woman, it's very difficult to not have experienced this at some point in your life. But what I mainly want to touch on in this video is how to rebuild confidence. I believe that confidence is a muscle that needs to be flexed, and there is unpacking that needs to be done in order to truly work it out. So I have gotten to a point where I want to work it out. Now that I know it has nothing to do with a man, like it's about me. I got some work to do, and if you got some work to do in this department, please continue to watch, because we're going to nip it in the bud, and 2025 is going to be the year where we step into the more confident versions of ourselves. So without further ado, how do we rebuild confidence? Gotta go to my notes, child. I've never brought the entire bottle of wine into my room. I just didn't have time to be needing a refill. Like, this is not one of the videos, okay? How do we rebuild confidence? So I want to preface this by saying, one, this video might get a bit long and may need to be broken up into 2 parts. 2, it may even be so impactful that it might need to turn into a series. So bear with me if that's something that you guys would like. Let me know in the comments. But 3, I want to do a little bit of time travel with you guys. I believe that as I've worked through this with myself and as I've prayed on it, that has been coming to me, and just bear with me, stay with me. Let me tell you why. I believe that the first step in order to truly rebuild confidence is to first start in the present. Ask yourself, where are you noticing that your insecurities are coming to the forefront? When in your present day, I don't want you to respond and be like, oh, I used to get bullied when I was a kid. Like, okay, that's not what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about is, in your present day, when have you realized that your insecurities may have been, you know, shining through? And one of the reasons that I think that this is important to vocalize is because if somebody were to call you insecure, you would take that as an offense. You'd be like, no, I'm not. What? Excuse me? Like, why would you say that? You would be a little offended if someone were to call you insecure. Not too many people want to adopt that as like a character trait that they have. However, there might be actions or things that take place in your life where you look back and you'd be like, oh, I was actually being a little bit insecure. That was actually a me problem. I reacted poorly to that. I apologize. Not looking all the way back 10 years ago. If I'm talking about like that argument you might have had with your best friend last week, or maybe the bad day you were having at work yesterday. For me, oh gosh, I made a very long list of all of the relatively recent times where I have felt some sort of insecure, and the list is kind of long. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna give y'all a few, and I am bearing my soul. I am being very vulnerable. Please do not come for me in these comments. And with that being said, at the same time, I also think this is a healthy and good idea, because some of the things, if you actually take the time to vocalize them and say them out loud, you'll realize how silly they sound. And sometimes we need that. Like, yeah, I had no reason being insecure over that. That sounds crazy out loud. And we be needing that reality check sometimes. So let me use myself as an example. Okay, most recently, the thing that I had to peep that I was having an issue with was other people getting praise at work. Kind of made me feel like I'm not doing good enough. That is an area of which I have felt insecure. Feeling like others are outperforming me has made me insecure. What else did I write? I put hosting at my old apartment, or maybe I just felt insecure about my old apartment. It had the brown cabinets and the carpet, and it was small, and everybody around me for the most part had, you know, the high ceilings, the marble countertops, hardwood floors. I have no stainless steel appliances and all of that, and I felt like, you know, I would put on this front that like, I'm saving money, y'all tripping, I ain't care about no brown cabinet. I got a brown cabinet, who gonna check me in my brown cabinets? But deep down, I was insecure about me and my brown cabinets. I'm not gonna lie, that was my reality. What else did I write? I said I've been insecure about the stretch marks on my butt and my fupa, primarily in bathing suit settings. This one does actually go back to my childhood. However, I still experience those feelings like during the summertime, pool party vibes, when I'm in a setting where everybody is naked and like it could be the biggest booty girls and it looked like a perfect peach, just sitting there like two bunk beds, just not a stretch mark the first, and me, cute little, you know, I'm not thick, but I'm thick a little bit, but not for real. Like, it's not OD. Like, I don't got a monkey back there for the amount of stretch marks that I have. It's kind of crazy, and I've had to get more comfortable with my body in terms of that, and I have, but still like with myself it's not a problem, but like in comparison to other people, when I'm around people who don't have that, I kind of be feeling like or when I take pictures, oh my goodness. I actually wrote down just me feeling insecure when taking pictures, but especially when taking pictures with other girls. Like, imagine being a content creator who feels insecure taking pictures, but that has actually been me. And I want to go further into this, but I don't want to ramble for super duper long. But I think that the reason why I feel insecure taking pictures sometimes is because I've adopted this identity that I'm a pretty girl, but I'm not, excuse my French, I'm not a bad bitch. Y'all, I feel like a lot of people are surprised when I say I feel insecure when it comes to taking pictures, or like I don't take good pictures. It's something that I say periodically, which is something I need to stop saying, but I do say that I don't take good pictures. I'm not that photogenic. Like, what are you talking about? You're so pretty, you got that nice smile, da, 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 da. I'm like, all I know how to do is smile, which is something that I have felt about myself, and I would envy the IG baddies and even just, you know, my friends in general who know how to get a good flick off and how to like give sexy to the camera, like give dark femininity, just bad vibes. And I actually remember getting into a tiff with some male friends for saying, like, I always big up my friends to the max. I think all my friends is bad bitches. Like, I talk very highly of them. And you know, male friends, they'll be the one to be like, man, your friends, they alright. Like, they be trying to downplay it. Like, don't ever talk about my sis, you got me messed up. What? My friends are bad. And I will gas them to the utmost and then still be having all these insecurities by myself. But that's not the point. The point is, he has said something along the lines of like, yeah, y'all are pretty, but y'all ain't bad bitches. And I went back and forth. Like, I actually got in my feelings about it. And someone else like that I was dating who was with them was able to peep that I had gotten in my feelings about it. And they're like, why are you like tripping? Like, you shouldn't feel that way. He's just chatting. But a part of me believed that. Like, damn, they don't think I'm a bad bitch. They don't think my friend's bad bitch. Like, what do bad bitches have that I don't? And then I'm looking, I'm like, is it designer clothes? Is it designer bags? What is it? I do feel like I'm a pretty girl, but when I consider whether or not I would, I don't know. I never felt insecure about the face card. The face card never declined. However, I never felt like a bad bitch. Like, I can hold my own in a room with baddies. Like, I'm the pretty girl, but I used to have this, and I still do, it's crazy, even though I'm in a relationship and everything else, I still have this idea like, yeah, I'm a pretty girl, men will want to talk to me, but it's really the personality that sells them. It's really the smile and the energy that sells them. Even though I think I'm pretty, there is an insecurity that I don't feel like I'm a bad. And I think that that is shown when it comes to taking pictures, because I don't think that I give that. There's this one picture I took for my birthday. I feel like, I don't even know how I got that flick off. Maybe it was the blonde that was just, the blonde just channeled a different version of me. Like, so much so that I wanted to just step into this new era of myself, take like sexier pictures, not like wearing less clothes, but just giving more face than just, you know. And then I colored my hair because I just wanted to step into this brand new ambiance of myself. All of those things are cool, but it's an insecurity nonetheless that I have had. And that might be a conversation for a whole other video, like the difference between a pretty girl and a bad, because I don't know if that's really a thing. I don't know if I'm wrong for even wanting to be able to give that, but I feel like if I had to answer the question briefly, the difference, in my opinion, between a pretty girl and a bad bitch is the amount of confidence that said woman exudes. I think true bad bitches have like a ambiance that they give off. Like, I think it is an aura that exudes off of them. Not like you have to be snotty or nasty, like, oh, like I'm better looking than everybody, I got more money than everybody, I'm that girl. Like, it gives that girl, but in a way that it's an effortless version of giving that girl. I feel like bad bitches have that, whereas a pretty girl like may need to be told that they're pretty to believe that they're pretty. Jesus. A pretty girl might need some validation for some other people about the way that she looks, whereas a bad bitch knows she's that bitch when she wakes up in the morning. She knows she's that bitch no matter what she got on, no matter whether or not her hair is done. But she still does prioritize those things, making sure that she's well kept, upkept. I feel like there's these poor associations with being a bad bitch, if you will. Like, oh, you know, they don't pay for anything, they got men just sending them money. And I used to be like I never had a man pay for my rent. Like, blah, blah, blah. I thought those are like bad bitch things. Those are things that happen to bad I ain't never seen that. I was even asked about. I ain't never experienced that before. And then it was just start to turn into this negative connotation, like, oh well, you don't know what they doing for that money. No, some of them they're not prostitutes. I don't want to perpetuate that idea. I think truthfully, you got women that are, you know, city girls and might be demanding that, and then you have bad bitches who are confident and know their worth, where men will just kind of act accordingly. And it's not even always just men. It could be employers, it could be a stranger on the street, it can be vibes, it can be networking events. Other women of that stature will just start to kind of gravitate towards you. I think there are so many different layers to like the bad conversation, but in terms of confidence, I feel like that is always something that I've lacked in and I've been insecure about. Is there anything else I need to mention? Because I'm just chewing myself up and spitting myself out at this point. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. Hopefully you have taken the time to do this for yourself. Ask yourself whether you're doing this exercise in a journal, in a notebook, with yourself, on camera, getting it out, audio message, or with your friends. When and how often, in what scenarios have you realized that your insecurities might be showing in real time? And once you get that list, we'll circle back. We'll move on to number 2. We'll continue the time travel. Now we're going back to the past. Now I know this contour is way too dark for me, but mind your business. Okay, so now step number 2. What you need to do next is look at that list that you just made, analyze the list, and say, okay, what is the common denominator here? What's the theme here? For me, it was that there was a pattern of needing validation from other people. So if that was at work, that work situation that I had mentioned, somebody else is getting praised, I'm not getting it. I feel like I need this form of validation from them in order to think that I'm doing good at my job. The whole time, I'm doing good at my job. I don't need them to tell me that for that to be true. With the men, same deal. With the home, feeling like I don't got the things that other people have, like I'm looking for this validation somewhere, somehow in that large list of things. What was repetitive and what was the theme for me was that I felt like I wasn't enough and I needed this reassurance from other people in order to believe that about myself. Deep breath. We're going back to the past in number 2 because we need to figure out where did that come from. And I want to dive deeper into the need to do this because we aren't just trying to like be a therapist to ourselves. I also like highly suggest, you know, making an appointment if this is something that you're really truthfully trying to unpack, because I definitely did. But we aren't just trying to diagnose ourselves or anything like that. We need to figure out where those issues came from, because truthfully, we are not born with insecurities. We aren't. Children are made whole and pure. And I want you to truthfully think about your little nephew, your little niece, your little cousin, whomever, or maybe even if you remember being that young, and remembering how bold and confident kids are. Kids will say the wildest, most outlandish things out of their mouth because they have no fear. They are literally the most confident creatures on this planet, children. And the reason being is because they don't have any insecurities yet. Insecurities are taught. Insecurities are put into you. They're put into you by other people, by experiences, by society. Like something makes you insecure. You're not born insecure. So when you take the time to go back and ask yourself, okay, where did that come from? We need to unpack that. Take the time to unpack it, and then you can truthfully nip it in the bud, because if you don't, you won't be able to control when you're triggered. So for me, if my theme is, okay, I'm seeking this validation, I don't know why. After doing some digging, I figured out where that came from, and it was from a bit of tough love from my family. I always gave so much credit to them, and I still do, primarily my grandmother. She's the reason that I am the way that I am. Hard on myself. I'm my own biggest critic. I am very successful. I would like to say I've always been a very hard worker, very driven, very motivated individual. I don't want to do good. I want to do great. I want to do well. I want to do better. That's always been my MO, and I know that it is because of her. However, you may have grown up in an environment where, like, if I bring home a 90, why you ain't get 100? All right, well, you want me to congratulate you for doing good in school? You're supposed to do good in school. Like, that was that was my experience. And it wasn't just with that, it was almost with a chunk of a large chunk of things. And there's some people that respond differently to that. Like most of my siblings and my cousins, and they wouldn't care. And I used to really envy people like that. I wish I did not care. So many times I wish I did not care. I used to just find myself seeking their validation so often. It wasn't just my grandma, it was just people in my family in general. Like I felt like I lived a good chunk of my life trying to please everyone around me more than myself. Like I just wanted to prove to them that I could do whatever it is that I set out to do. And I've done that in my own right. However, I've learned that I've carried that throughout my life, and that's something that I need to unpack and I need to deal with. And I truthfully need to go back to that childlike version of myself that I was discussing. When you're a kid, you don't think and feel that way. You just live and you just exist. But somewhere along the line for me, I learned that, you know, I get this praise when I do X, Y, and Z. Or when I do X, Y, and Z, I get this praise. So I want to make sure that I work hard for this praise. And when I don't, it's not appreciated or it's not fulfilling me in the way that I feel as though is necessary. Or I feel as though fills me up. But the childlike version of myself was afraid of nothing, was extremely confident, was so self-assured and believed that she could do anything. And ironically enough, my grandfather, he actually passed last year, God rest his soul. He would always tell me of this story from when I was a child. He would say, when you were like 5 or so, there was a block party on our block in Norristown on Green Street, and that there was a dance battle going on. The first dance battle was for my age group, and you know I did it because I actually was y'all know I've been dancing my whole life. Well, for those who do know, I've been dancing my whole life. I've always loved to dance, and everybody found out I knew how to dance when I was like 2, no lie. So imagine just this little tiny person just like, what? I would hit splits, Wu-Tang battle, D-Mac, give me all that. I'm killing it, what? And my papa would always say, you blew everybody out the water, dance battle, and the prize was like a doll. And you were happy to win, and then we go in the house, and then you hear on the mic, now this age group to this age group, the prize is $20. And he said, you turn right back around and said, I can beat them. I'm going. And my papa would say he was so nervous because the girls were so much older than me. It might have been like the double-digit ages at that point. I don't know. I don't remember. But I remember it. It's crazy. The crazy part is I remember this, but I don't remember being... You see? Oh, my gosh. I remember the dance battle. I remember block parties on Green Street. I don't remember having this unwavering amount of confidence that my grandfather tells me that I had. But I had it. And he said, you were just so confident, you knew you could beat them, and you went out there and you did beat them. And he said he was even nervous for me. As a grown man, as an adult, you have all of those insecurities that have come to you over time, and he's scared for me. Like, how is this little girl about to beat all these big girls dancing and everything else? And he was like, you knew you could do it, and you did it, and you got the doll and the $20 and left it on the floor. I almost cry, y'all. I'm trying to get myself together. I really love him. I really, really, really love him. He would remind me of that story all the time. All the time. But that is just a testament to how when you are so young, you have no fear. And it's not to say you should go through life acting fearless, because there is a bit of wisdom where there is fear. However, we need to channel the childlike version of ourselves that is more confident and doesn't have those insecurities that society put in us yet. We need to figure out how to get back to that. And that leads us to step number 3. Step number 3 is when we are now going to fly to the future. So we did the present, we went to the past, and now we're flying to the future. You need to ask yourself, what does the more confident version of yourself look like? I don't want you to say anything vague, like, oh, she's more confident, obviously. But no, like, reference those situations that we just talked about that have made you feel insecure in the present day, in real time. Whether it's comparing yourself to other people in situations where you are around other women, you're in situations where, I don't know, you feel the need to compete to some capacity. Like, in all of those situations you've listed, I want you to analyze it and then say, okay, what do I want my future confident self to look like? How does she act? How does she carry herself? What is she like? So I'm gonna read off some of the things I wrote. I put that she needs no one else's approval but God's. This is obviously because one of the things I said was that I noticed I'd be seeking validation and approval and reassurance from other people in order to believe certain things about myself. No more of that. My future self doesn't need that. She knows she's that girl, and God's approval is the only approval she needs. Like, nobody else. I put she's as confident as 5-year-old dance battle queen Brianna was, and that's a fact. Like, I wish that I could just embody that energy and that attitude all the time, and sometimes I do. I want you to make sure that y'all are taking the time to give yourself credit where credit is due. We all have insecurities. Even your favorite bad that you look up to, your favorite influencer, your favorite female rapper that seems like they got it all going on, they have insecurities too. We need to make sure we are recognizing that and normalizing that, but in the same token, giving ourselves grace for the times where we have owned it, where we have stepped up, where we have claimed that energy that we say that we want more often. Because there's nothing wrong with just saying, I want to be able to be a more confident person. Everybody can work on it. I said this in the beginning of the video, and I want to make sure I emphasize it again. I believe that confidence is a muscle that needs to be flexed. I don't think you can press a button, you can buy an outfit, you can change your hair, you can get a man, and then poof, insecurities fixed, confidence reached, that's it, that's all. No, I don't believe that. I believe that there are different levels of confidence, and working on your self-confidence is a part of growing into the best version of yourself. There's always room for growth. Nobody's perfect, and we all have moments of insecurity. We all have moments where we doubt ourselves, and it's something that I think we all can work on. Where you're at in your confidence journey might be different from the next, and that's okay. A large part of this is about not comparing yourself to other people. However, let's not get it twisted and think that somebody doesn't deal with this at all, because even the person that you're idolizing, thinking that they got it all going on, they probably are dealing with it too. And it's about flexing that muscle, working it out. Consider this video to be your trip to the confidence gym. Okay, if confidence is the muscle that you need to flex and work out, this video is the gym, and we finna drop them insecurities like inches off of a waist that we finna snatch. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So yeah, what does the more confident version of yourself look like? And I want you to get as specific as possible with this. So something else that might have nothing to do with what you wrote down. Like for me, I also wrote that she's always well kept. She always looks put together in some capacity. Not to say that she gotta have a 40-inch bust down middle part like every day. No, that's not what I mean, but she always looks put together. Like, she's not caught lacking very often. She's confident in the way that she looks. She walks into a room and she exudes that energy that I said I desire. She's good at taking pictures. She takes fire pics. Okay, when she throws a fit on, she's not questioning herself constantly. She's confident in what she has on, and she looks good. She doesn't seek so many other people's opinions. She doesn't need to call 13 different people to figure out if her outfit is eating. No, she can look in the mirror and say, yeah, I've never even seen anybody put this and this together, but you know what, I'm eating this. Yeah, like that's the type of woman I want to be. And the final part of all of this is to start acting like her. And that is easier said than done, child. But it's really a thing. It's really a thing that we need to do. We need to practice being this person. It may take a little bit of delusion. It may take a little bit of therapy. It may take a little bit or a lot of bit of prayer. It may take a lot of bit of shadow work. It may take a lot of bit of church. Okay, it may take a lot of unlearning. It may take a lot of unlearning. I just want to say it one more time for the people in the back. It may take a lot of unpacking. It may take a lot of unlearning, but this is something that we need to commit ourselves to in order to truthfully see results. This is not one of the goals you could set to just lose weight or gain weight, eat less, drink more water, go to the gym. It's not that simple. This is something that requires discipline, internal discipline. Like, do we even know what that is? Not for the weak. I know that much. Woo, I know that much. Child. Internal discipline. When I say that, I mean like catching yourself, checking yourself when nobody else will. You get into an argument with your man and you sit down afterwards and you realize he didn't even do anything wrong. I was being insecure. Are you gonna actually say that out loud? and say, you know what, babe, I'm sorry. I was in my feelings. It was a lot going on. I'm working through my insecurities right now. I just realized that that's what it was. I'm gonna unpack that. I'm sorry. Or are you gonna pretend that he's still at fault for whatever it is you yelled at him for? Like internal discipline. Because there's no one that's gonna hold you accountable for being more confident. There's no one that's going to hold you accountable for talking to yourself poorly or in a negative way, or for thinking negative thoughts. Like who's going to check you? You have to be willing and able and committed to checking yourself when you're in those situations and when you're having those thoughts. So let's just make the decision to do it right now. Are we on the same page? Because I personally am. I've decided I no longer want to question myself. I no longer want to need other people's approval or validation to make me feel good. On top of that, I don't want to rely on praise and depend on praise in order to feel better about myself. I don't even want to want it, let alone need it. I don't want to feel as though if I don't get it, I'm less than. I feel like for me, the overall theme of doing this entire exercise was that I need to remind myself and believe truthfully that I am enough. Everybody's insecurities are different. So what you may need to remind yourself of might be a little bit different. But I think that we can all relate to a time where we might have felt like we weren't enough. And I just want to take this moment to remind us as a unit that we are enough. So as I make this commitment to myself, I want to know if you guys would be willing to make the commitment with me. This is something that it's personal, but I want to go on the journey with y'all. Most importantly, I want to be an example to anybody who might not have had the confidence or the willingness or the endurance, even the resilience to endure this type of commitment on their own. I want to be the proof in the pudding. I want to show y'all that even for one, if you think somebody got it all together, they probably don't. For two, I want to show y'all how committed I am to being vulnerable and transparent on this channel, and how important and imperative it is for us to truthfully unpack these things if we want to grow and glow and elevate to become the best versions of ourselves. This is something I'm committed to. If you're committed to this, let me know in the comments. Drop this emoji if you are determined to be your most confident self and exude an entirely new aura. Let me know below, because that's something that I'm trying to do here on this channel, and I want you to be a part of the journey with me. So with that, that's all that I have for this video. I hope that it has given you something that you needed to hear, and I really pray that we can all enter our most confident selves as we continue to embark on 2025. Thank you so much. If you want more content like this, please remember to also hit the notification bell and to like, comment, and subscribe. I promise that I will keep it coming, and if you think this could be a series of some sort, if you want me to unpack or dive deeper into any one of the topics that I discussed, come on, like, let me know. We're gonna chat about it and we're gonna get into it, because it's something that's important to me. So I hope that it touched whomever's ears it needed to, and that it came to at the moment that you needed to hear it. And I look forward to giving y'all more content, and I hope that you stick around. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.